Good morning, this is Pixie doing another video. Just a quick thought coming to my head for this video. So there's often we talk about gender equality, and that's why they've started creating other genders to fit in there, I guess. Z and all these other things. To be honest, either it matters or it doesn't matter. And if somebody says, "Oh, I'd like to be called this," or "I'd like to be considered a robot," or whatever, you just basically say, well, it's not really how my mind works, you know. If you want me to see something completely different, then it can't work, because I'm not here to be programmed into other people's perceived perceptions, rather than just follow my own. I mean, my template was based on my parents, so my dad was a male and my mum was a female, and everything grows from that. It stems from it. I was going to say it's stemmatic, but I don't even know if it's a word. Something that grows from a core stem outwards. And so, as a platform, someone has to be, in order to be a mother, they have to be a female. But that can be split now, as I've developed. That can be split both. Biologically, that could be different. Sociologically, I mean, how does someone identify themselves externally? There's another issue with the transgen stuff, is when someone's a bit depressed because they maybe want to transition, they want to be perceived as a woman, which is okay, but you have to see it, you're perceived as a woman in a man's body. But if they want to radically change their body and they're not sure, there's a pressure to push them into converting their body into something else. But if you have surgery, you're still not a woman. You know, you can take hormones and stuff, but you're kind of some sort of hybrid mixture between the two. If you got a synthetic vagina created and things like that, it's not actually a vagina. It's just you just have to accept that as a part of the thing, you know, because we can't. There's a point where we can't change ourselves beyond that, not unless we're going to be transplanted to a new body. And so there's this stuff about gender equality and fairness, but I think often what men may be looking for, and I guess women as well, if you're seeking to be a leader, you're looking for gender superiority. You're looking for strengths in your own gender that make you stand out, and that may be the way you look, appearance, you know, physical attributes, mental attributes. There's things that you want to be superior. So at some level there's a kind of point where there is fairness and there's neutrality, because we can, you know, both use computers, we can drive, we can use, there's things that are universal that we can do, and there's some things that other people excel at, and they should be the focus point of their sort of superiority. Like, I don't know, if a man's naturally very strong, he has an advantage that he can apply in his everyday life. Or if he's very good at construction type work, he's very good at problem solving. You know, these are all attributes that will support family. A family has to have two sides of the role, because you don't want two people doing exactly the same job, because there might be limited who can actually do that. You know, you can share some workloads, like some housework, but there might be some areas where based on your relationship, what works with you. And then there's also, when a relationship comes together, figuring out where you fit in and what you want. And you don't have to play, I mean, there's lots of indoctrination, so you look through, like someone message you and you pick out that, they might say, well, I want, you know, somebody very family orientated, they want somebody this and that, you know, they might be looking for marriage. You might say, well, I don't need to see marriage, but I do want a committed relationship. And then, or I might say, well, I don't want to get married yet. Yeah, it's probably the end result of the relationship. Then sort of an initial burst where you're in love and everything's working well. But I think definitely to working towards gender superiority, people might say, I don't like that attitude, or, you know, but actually if it works and it's effective in a social model, and be prepared to upset people. I mean, that's how you get results sometimes. You're going to have to say, well, this is how it is from my perspective. And if someone's upset and say, well, that's unfair or whatever, you know, if someone says, oh, I don't like to see myself as a female or a male, I want to be called a Z, and you say, well, that's in your eyes that's fine, but it doesn't really work for myself. I tell you what, I'd rather just call you by your name and focus on an attribute of your being. You know, it's a bit like if someone is a cleaner, you don't want to be saying, oh, we'll go speak to the cleaner. You want to be, you know, you'd rather be as a person. But then people can choose whatever name they like. That's not really a problem. And there's a lot of names where people are like this sort of unisex, Charlie, Henry. I saw Henry for a female. It's different, and things like that. So it's just a different platform we live in. But you don't want to lose what makes you stand out in whatever field you are, and then the dynamics of how you grew, and you've got to just figure out your culture from your biology up to how you fit into society and all the links in between, really. So yeah. Anyway, this is basically a sign off for this video, and I'll switch to